there is not one person that knows the right answer, and being able to think about and talk through what is the best solution for this situation is definitely the most important way to make those decisions.
Welcome to the Know Your Ship podcast, presented by eHub. I'm your host, Frank Dolce. Tyler Hortin. It's not Hortin, here's a who.
No.
And it's Hortin.
That's right.
From Orem, Utah. And the president, CEO, what's your actual title?
CEO
of
Energy.
Of Lion Energy.
Yep.
And I also noticed on your LinkedIn, you're the CFO. Is that accurate? Of American Battery Factory.
Yes.
Well, I can't wait to have this chat. I'm really interested. I guess I've always just been kind of interested on the side about renewable energy, but then I've been listening to a bunch of the podcasts that you've done and reading through your website. And now I think all of a sudden that it's accessible for me to utilize renewable energy. And I'm not talking about just like a battery pack for my phone, which you guys do manufacture as well,
right?
But more on a broad home-based way. I hope you'll be able to tell me all about that.
For sure. Yes. Batteries are accessible, usable every day. Lion Energy helps people to do that and add technology to the number one spend anybody has, which is energy.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I thought the number one spend in the United States of America was fishing and game. Have you ever heard that statistic?
Maybe.
That's true. I think
maybe recreation.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. People spend when you say that, people spend the most amount of money on which recreational activity, and it's fishing. Are you a fisherman? Do you fish?
I fish. Yes, I've been to Alaska.
Really?
Yeah.
How was that experience?
It was awesome.
I bet you needed some renewable energy up there.
I did. Yeah. I bring.
Do you bring it all?
I bring it with me. Everywhere.
I always pack in heat.
Yep.
I'm really interested in the batteries, like the marine and batteries and stuff. Anyway, we'll get into that. But I think the interesting thing we were just talking about before we started up here is how your family got to Utah. Okay, so your dad's family has deep roots in Utah.
That's right.
Oakley and Midway.
Yes.
Okay, so those are pretty close.
Yeah.
That's your dad's family. Okay, but your mom's family has this interesting story.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell it?
Yeah, for sure. So my grandpa was German, and back then everybody was part of the army, and
this is during World War II.
World War II. Yep.
Okay, so he was part of the German army, World War II. Okay.
Yes, and so he was taken prisoner of war here in the U.S., shot in the leg or whatever.
Was he shot? So he was shot in Germany and brought over to the U.S.? Something like that?
I'm not sure, but I know he was prisoner of war in Florida.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And then after the war was sent home to Germany. Met my grandma and were married and had kids, and my mom was one of them. And I think she was 3 when she came to the U.S.
And did they all come over to the United States? Grandparents and your mom? Well, yes. Grandparents and family. Yep. And where did they end up?
In Ohio, and they had 2 other kids after my mom here in the U.S. So, and then my grandpa was a sausage maker, I believe, in Ohio.
Your grandpa from Germany was a sausage maker
in Ohio.
In Ohio.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then my mom moved during college and went to college at BYU.
So, and then stuck around?
And stuck around,
Met your dad,
and
stuck around.
Got married, and then then they moved to California. I was officially born in California, but then came back to Utah pretty young.
Which part of California?
LA. Yeah. Whittier.
Do you know what's really interesting about that?
What?
Is I have a son at Whittier College right now.
Oh.
In Whittier.
Awesome.
I grew up in Southern California.
Oh, there you go.
And then came to school here. Yeah. Now my son goes to Whittier College.
Huh.
Wow. Your hometown.
Yep.
Is there a sign that says Tyler Hortin was born here in Whittier? Well, that is a great story.
Yeah.
That's a fascinating story. Have you been back to Germany? Do you still have family back there?
No, most there's a few distant, but most were killed in the war.
Gotcha.
So
wow.
There were a couple that were here in the US actually. So it was not just my immediate grandparents, a couple of my grandma's siblings came over.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
We could probably do a whole podcast on your family, on that background. Coming over the World War II, coming over here, being in that experience. Yeah,
it was not, World War II was not a great experience for my grandpa.
No,
so
I'm sure it wasn't.
I can't say I have a lot of great stories.
So you probably didn't sit around the dinner table talking about all of the World War II experiences. That wasn't the topic.
Definitely not.
Was renewable energy the topic?
No. That was later. Yeah, that was later.
Tyler.
I've learned that on my own. So,
okay, your grandpa's a sausage maker in Ohio. What is your Utah grandpa or grandparents? What are they doing? What did they do?
So my grandpa has passed away. He was, I think he was in the dairy business, and then my grandma, she's still alive here in Midville, Utah.
Oh, that's
and she was stay at home most of her life, but then I think she did some insurance at the end of her.
Is that right?
Life, yeah.
Fascinating.
Her working life.
Okay, so you grew up in Orem, went to Orem High, ended up at BYU, but you didn't study accounting. What was your major at BYU?
My undergrad was in the engineering college, information technology.
Yeah, and then you went and got a master's at UT Dallas in accounting, and you're currently a CPA.
I am.
Did you have an affinity for that as you were growing up, like working with numbers, math, logical thinking?
No. My dad.
Is everyone in your family stunned that you're a CPA?
No, my dad is a CPA.
Oh,
he worked when we were in California. He was working for Arthur Andersen.
Yeah,
doing stuff there. So it's in the family.
So did you genes. when your dad was a CPA and you were growing up? Were you thinking, wow, that is really cool. I love that. I love what my dad is doing. Or did he talk about it in a certain way that you became interested in it?
No, I was interested in business, and business, the best foundation for business is accounting. So
so true.
But I knew accounting. I grew up doing bookkeeping when I was 16 and things like that.
With your dad?
So, like for businesses, just small businesses around. So I would do that, and then I decided to do something different for college.
And that's
so
why
my undergrad, I decided to do some engineering or whatever.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
You know who else did? You know who else did? But I want to follow up on this bookkeeping you did at 16 years old.
Yeah.
There's a funny line in, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Other Guys with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. If you haven't, it's hilarious. Mm-hmm. And there's a line in that movie when Will Ferrell is talking about how he audited his parents when teenager, and he found some discrepancies.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm kind of picturing you doing that with like, did you go around the neighborhood? You didn't have a paper route. You were like, hey, I bet I could manage your books.
No, my dad would have clients that needed help. And, it was a great thing.
You were walking around the neighborhood with a black suit, black tie, pocket protector, glasses, offering bookkeeping services. So you were doing some bookkeeping. You decided to go a different path. You said that the best foundation for business is accounting. I think it's like those, accounting and finance, people with those backgrounds always seem to find their way up the chain. Has that been your experience?
It has. So I lived in Dallas with my wife for 5 or so years. And then we decided to move back to Utah, and I joined a manufacturing company in finance. I was their CFO. And so that's how I started my Utah career and grew with that company. And out of that company, we founded Lion Energy.
Oh, so okay. Is that manufacturing company still around?
No, we, at one point in 2016, we sold off the food company and then focused on Lion Energy. It was a emergency based food manufacturing company.
Okay.
Yeah, back in the day.
Gotcha. Okay. So out of that experience, what made you determine that renewable energy or battery manufacturing was going to be a lucrative career?
So it wasn't an aha moment or anything like that. It was one of our customers in food wanted a generator, a battery-based backup generator for emergencies. And so we did that. And it sold really well. And so that's how it started. It was in the beginning, it was just a white label product. And then
so when you say a white label product, were you someone else was manufacturing it, you were buying it and putting it under your own brand, and essentially
at that time we didn't really have a brand. Yeah, so just selling it.
Okay, so you were just reselling the third party brand.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we realized the power.
No pun intended. Who said accountants didn't have a sense of humor?
So it was interesting, and we determined it was a great thing, and decided to start doing our own engineering and start to develop products. And so it's been a bootstrapped company since the beginning. So we used profits to grow and do our R&D, and then build new products. So in the beginning, it was all portables, and we still sell that today in Costco and places like that. And then about 4 or 5 years ago, we started doing our sanctuary product, which is a whole home system.
Yeah. We'll talk about that as well. That one's fascinating.
Yeah. And then we expanded into commercial and utility products also. So we can go all the way up to just really large batteries that help the utility to store energy.
So all under Lion.
All under Lion, yeah.
It's not like Lion Residential, Lion Commercial. It's all kind of one.
We do have a different division that focuses on the commercial utility. It is a lot more engineering and things like that up front to be able to do that. But it's all part of the same company. And it all comes back to technology. I consider us a product company, but also primarily a technology company. And being able to use storage to be able to create resilient energy usage as the grid ages. Batteries allow, whether it's the home, commercial building, utility, or even, on the go, whether you're going to the beach or going fishing, you could bring energy with you super easily because the lithium chemistry, and we focus primarily on the LFP chemistry, which is the safest.
Which stands for?
LFP, it's known as LiFePO4, but it's lithium iron phosphate.
Okay. And that is it advantageous because of what?
So when you hear about cars or scooters burning up, it's usually going to be an NMC type, which includes cobalt and different things that is a lot more. It's good for 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, but it's not great for safety. And so we focus on safety and storage in the home. So we want our products to be used in a building. And so we start with the safest chemistry to do that with.
Okay, this is a little off topic, but since you mentioned it, the safety. The batteries that you're talking about, what did you call it?
LFP.
No, that's yours. And what is the other?
Oh, NMC.
NMC. Okay. And those are mostly what we would see in in EVs?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, here in the US, that's where most EVs started, where it was NMC or NCA chemistry.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that is not as safe. Would that be fair to say?
Right.
Or is not as stable or not as safe as what you're producing?
So it's not as safe. It's pretty stable unless you puncture it or do. There's a lot you can do to make it more safe, but at some point the chemistry is what it is, and will do what it will do. And that chemistry is really good for going 0 to 60 in 3 seconds and doing it really quickly. It's not great for long-term use. It's going to have fewer, we call them life cycles, which is how many times you charge or discharge it. So it doesn't last as long, but also it's if you puncture it or there's something called thermal runaway. If you go into one of those, the repercussions are hard to deal with. So your phone also typically has that type of chemistry in it. And there was a fire back east somewhere, and they had a whole bunch of phone batteries just sitting there. And once one went, all the others started, going. And it's impossible to stop.
To put it out.
Yeah.
Okay, so this just happened on a ship.
Yeah.
Moving vehicles from, I'm going to get it wrong, but they're moving vehicles overseas to the United States. Ship catches on fire. They can't put it out.
No.
And the ship sinks with all of the 3,000 vehicles on the ship. And that's the danger with that particular battery setup.
Yes. It's very difficult. And you basically have to smother it somehow, but you're dealing with thousands of degrees. So it's super hot. Wow. So it's really, and that's why it spreads so much is because of the chemistry there. So LFP has a different reaction, which is much more controllable. And you can manufacture it in larger formats because of that. which are much safer.
Yeah.
So that's
interesting.
what we do. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So as we're still going down this, why did you start a battery company, a renewable energy company? Was there a profitability opportunity that you liked about a battery company? Was there some environmental concern that you thought you could answer by building a battery company? What were all of the things that were going through your head and your partner's heads when you started this?
I mean, it started with profitability. And then as we understood the possibilities and understood some of the products that we could bring to market, we think every building in America should have storage as a part of it. And the reason that's important, there's a story I like to tell. Yeah. So there's somebody out in North Carolina. He was thinking about improving his energy bill. The more and more we use energy with AI and Bitcoin and all that stuff, it's becoming more and more expensive for the end consumer. So everyday user of energy. And so, with batteries and with solar, you can save money on your power bill. And that's what he wanted to do. So last summer, he puts our Sanctuary product and some solar in his house. He also has the Starlink for internet. And so he did it to save money, but then the hurricane came through and his city was out of power for weeks.
Yeah.
And you think about it, when the power goes out, you're completely dependent on the grid. He's not, because he has batteries and solar connected to his home, and he's able to share internet with 50 plus neighbors that he had in his city. And you think about when we have a disaster or some, the fires in California, things like that just knock out the grid. We instantly become, third world country without power or whatever, water. And that is some of the most difficult repercussions of natural disasters and things like that, are people that are completely dependent on energy, whether it's for oxygen or whatever. And anyway, the hurricane didn't slow him down, and they were able to recover and have power and internet throughout that whole ordeal.
Yeah.
So,
well,
that just shows, like, a lot of people, when they hear batteries, they're thinking backup. That is one thing that you can do, but batteries are really a cool way to add technology to the grid and just be able to continue to live your life the way that you expect to live it, and move forward without having to worry about it.
Okay. And so I want to talk about the Sanctuary product. And I'm wondering if we should talk about that now, or we should talk about where you started and built up to the Sanctuary product. The one thing that you mentioned is he purchased it, or he installed it to save money. So let me just ask you that quickly, and then we'll rewind. What is the cost saving application with the Sanctuary product when you install it in your home? So
there's a lot of ways that you can save. If you live in Texas, there's times of day that during the summer that when it's really hot, that it becomes 10 to 20 times more expensive than it is at night when AC doesn't have to be used as much. With batteries, you can store during cheap time and use during expensive time. That's one way.
Okay, so let me just make sure I get this. In Texas, if you're running your air conditioner during extremely hot times, it's more expensive.
Yes.
Off the grid.
Yes.
You can store energy during the...
At night when it's less expensive.
And then run it off the battery
during the day.
Gotcha.
There's also, if you have a gas generator, you can, with batteries, you can turn on the gas generator, fill up your batteries, and then turn it off. And our system will do that for you. Run off the batteries until it gets down to a certain percentage, and then say, hey, gas generator, turn back on, fill it back up. So, a tenth the amount of time that you're running that generator or whatever.
Sure. Depending
on how you're using your energy. But you could have the gas generator turned off while you're running off your batteries. In the North Carolina case, he was focused on solar and creating your own energy. You can put that on your roof. It's passive. Once you install it, it's there and it's running, and it happens in the background without you having to even know what it is doing. That's what our engineers focus on, is really adding that technology to it and being able to understand when is the best time to charge the battery, when is the best time to use solar, and be able to do that in the background for you with our system.
So your platform will help make those determinations about when it's appropriate to use it. And does it automate it?
It automates
it. Automates it.
Yeah. I mean, everyday person might not know, hey, what's the best way to do this?
Yeah. I mean, know.
Yeah. I wouldn't have 10 years ago. And so, but that's what we focus on, is really adding. And so when I say adding technology to the grid, it's adding storage so that you can do things that, are good for you as the consumer. And depending on how utility rates are, you can save a lot of money. So it doesn't have to cost anything. And in fact, you can save money by doing it, depending on where you're at and what the application is. And so,
what are some of those? You just said depending on where you're at. So what are some of those restrictions depending on where you're at?
So like in Texas, you've got time of use billing. Every 15 minutes, they have a different billing schedule. And so, being able to like take advantage of when energy is expensive or cheap, it's good for the utility also, because the reason they do that is it's more expensive for them to produce the energy when it gets expensive. Here in the state of Utah right now, there's a flat rate billing. Eventually, maybe they'll go to time of use. They've talked about it, but so Utah, it's harder to take advantage of that, but you can still use solar and be able to use that in the home first. And so you can always save money on your power bill, depending on how expensive the energy is. Here in the state of Utah, we've got I think we're number 2 cheapest energy in the US. So it's a lot more difficult. But another misconception is batteries last 20 to 30 years. And if you get the right finance product, you can still, there's almost no scenario where you can't save money. And then over time, as rates continue to increase, you continue to save. And there were a lot of people back when solar was being installed everywhere, that they just installed solar and sold it back to the grid.
Yeah.
And our system doesn't do that. It runs the home first. And so adding batteries and what we do allows you to actually run your home on the solar. So there's a lot of people that may have been grandfathered into a net metering position that might find batteries and our system to be a better solution to what they're doing right now to take advantage of the solar that they put on their home. I'm a big fan of solar. It's passive, it's green, it helps the environment. So being able to use that with batteries is a great thing. Yeah. And to run your home, why not do that? And there's so many great finance products out there to make it affordable, so you don't have to pay a whole bunch of money up front if you can't afford it. If you can, maybe it's better. I don't know, but it depends on the situation of the person doing it. But it's never been more accessible than it is today. And the technology, another good thing about what we do is we continue to increase and improve our technology every day. Our apps get better and better. Our understanding of billing rates and utility rates get better and better. And how we use those to save people money will continue to improve over time. So
the other thing you mentioned is safety. What are the biggest safety concerns with the Lion Energy product?
So our product is completely safe. I have our product in my basement of my house, and I feel very secure. We are constantly monitoring our products, and we know exactly how it's performing and things like that, and we can let you know if not necessarily for safety reasons, but if you need an upgrade on batteries or whatever, but to improve your performance. So it's a very safe product.
Gotcha. Okay, now we're going to go back to the beginning. You started out with a solar generator.
Right.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And you had a little bit of success with that. And then what's the evolution of Lion? What's your next step? Did you get a group of guys in the room and you said, hey, we should do this thing?
In the beginning, it was improving that portable system, getting better.
And what was the portable system? What would you use it for? What was the use case?
Large appliances like fridge, freezer. You think about power going out and then you need it going.
Okay.
Yeah. Communication, being able to charge devices. So that's the primary use case for that. But also more and more it's, bringing it with you. I have mine sitting in my office, and I take it at least weekly. I take it on the go with me. There's a lot of people that do like beach things like that. They want power. The other day, my neighbor took it down to a lake down in southern Utah that didn't have power or whatever, and they had like a big inflatable structure that they put on the lake, and with they had young men down there, and so they spent the day on this inflatable structure that normally you wouldn't be able to do because you don't have power down there.
Yeah. And
with our system, it allows a lot of these pumps are just, they take a lot of energy, but our portable system can handle it. So they were able to inflate it, use it, and have fun. So every day you can use our products, and that's where we started. And then from there, expanding into whole home, commercial, and then utility products. And all of those have been in the last 4 or 5 years.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. If someone like me, let's just take me.
Yeah.
I'm like, where do I start with a some renewable energy? Like, what's a good starting point? If I'm not going to do the whole sanctuary system in my house, or if I'm just trying to figure out if that's right. Is there a starting point, or how would you coach someone to make that decision?
Whatever you want to use every day, that's where I would start. We have something called the claw that sits.
Yeah, that's the phone
connects to the phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that will charge your phone wirelessly, all day. I use that regularly and on the go. My kids use our products, portables, every day in our daily life. I think doing something like that is a good way to get started. And then start thinking about, your home and what you want to run always. My wife's biggest concern is security, and she wants our home security system to be running all the time, wants to be able to turn on the lights. So our sanctuary is a really good solution to run the fridge, freezer. If power goes out one time, you could lose all your meat in your freezer or whatever. So it just depends on what is best for you.
Yeah, I know. In those storms, every once in a while the power gets knocked out for some reason. And for that, however, what period of time that is, it seems like an eternity. Are you just, well, you're not, but I'm like running around freaking out.
Yeah.
And then the power comes back on, you forget about it. You forget about all the stress that you had, and you think maybe you go down to, one of the home improvement stores and you see like this generator system. Oh, maybe I should get that. Maybe I shouldn't.
So our Safari, that's what you don't have to worry about that. And that's what I bring with me everywhere. It'll run essentially anything that plugs into the wall. So
how long does it run? Like, will it continually recharge if it's on solar, or does it run out and then you have to recharge it and then it runs out, or how does it work?
It does. Yeah. And we have solar panels that are portable. If the storm hits, power goes out, you can put the solar outside, and then we have an extension cord that'll run inside. So you can keep your generator inside by whatever you're trying to run, keep it up and running, and the solar recharges. And so assuming you're not using too much power, you can keep going forever. Yeah. Which
amazing.
Is awesome. Yeah.
That is.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to start talking about more of the business of Lion Energy. What you do is amazing. I think if people listen just to this point, you might start getting some phone calls. I want to do the sanctuary. Like, that sounds so amazing at my house, but we'll see. Did you ever think you would be the CEO of a renewable energy company?
No.
And because of all the stuff you're talking about and your accounting background, I mean, that's a lot of learning that you had to do about things that maybe you weren't that interested in previously. So I'm curious about the people that you hired. You mentioned that you were a bootstrap company. And this seems like a business that is highly dependent on research and development and having good scientists, engineers. I don't know what you call them in that industry. Is that what you call
engineers? Them? Yeah, we work with both. Yeah.
Okay.
PhDs. We have rocket scientists too.
You do? Yeah. Are you producing rockets?
A couple of them, actually.
Really?
Yeah. They aren't producing rockets, but that's what they were trained in. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the most important hire that you made?
Yeah. I don't know that there has been a most important hire. Hiring is super important. And understanding the strengths and weaknesses of that person, and deciding the role that that person will play in your organization is the number one most important thing for us. And sometimes that means that person doesn't necessarily fit in our organization. And a lot of times both people know that, and they will make that decision themselves or us. Mm-hmm. So knowing who you are and what you do is super important. And then figuring out who fits that philosophy, that mindset, and making, putting them in the right position. And sometimes that right position doesn't happen right away. But having the right people in the right place is what's most important for me.
So we have this discussion a lot on this podcast. It sounds like you're talking about culture and the culture of the organization and just putting the right people in place. And so would it be fair to say that sometimes a superstar isn't the right fit within the organization?
That's right. It really depends on the organization as a whole. Mm-hmm. And where you're going. Somebody that's a superstar in one company might not fit in another. And so you think, well, I'm just going to hire the most qualified person for this.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it doesn't fit. So, and whether, sometimes it's cost related, sometimes it's talent related. And a lot of times in our industry, the most qualified person might not be the most qualified yet because the industry is so new. Mm-hmm. And we have to train people on what we do because there's not a lot of talent here in the U.S. that understands batteries, lithium batteries, clean energy, and how to put it all together. And so it's a lot of, give and take, and there's a lot of wrong decisions. There's a lot of right decisions, and just keep moving forward. And,
Yeah. So speaking of decisions, how do you make decisions within the organizations? Or within the organization, what is your process?
So we have 5 awesome, executives within our organization, and each of them make a lot of their own decisions. Mm-hmm. We do work together as a team and make decisions together. I help to make some of those decisions, but I would say my preference on the most important decisions is to have multiple people in on that decision to make the best decision. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of our process is really getting together, understanding humility that there is not one person that knows the right answer, and being able to think about and talk through what is the best solution for this situation is definitely the most important way to make those decisions.
Yeah.
But there's also decisions that need to be made quickly.
Yeah.
And so it's give and take and just figuring out what the right,
Have you ever made, as a company, have you ever made a bad decision? Have you ever had an obstacle that you've had to overcome?
Absolutely. Yeah. Every day, every year. No. There's a lot of, wrong decisions, right decisions.
Is there any that you can talk about or describe?
I mean, very early on, we made a portable generator that had NMC in it.
Oh.
And it was the wrong decision.
But was that because, go ahead and then I'll follow up.
Yeah. And there was, issues with it, and we had to deal with it. and we ended up bringing back all those generators. And but that bad decision, and it was at the beginning, so we had there weren't that many people that actually got that. But that bad decision led to a decision to focus on the chemistry that's within that generator, which is one of the more important decisions of the company's existence. I think we're in Costco's all over, and we have complete 100% confidence in the safety of our product. And the way we got there was because we made a bad decision.
Did you make a bad decision because you didn't know enough, or
rely on other people to do the engineering or whatever? And so it also led to the decision to have our own in-house engineers and things like that. So a lot of this is just, understanding, making bad decisions,
learning
from it, and improving. Yeah. So we do more testing today than any other company that I'm aware of in our industry. That was definitely a decision that we decided to make for safety and other reasons, and quality, continuous improvement of our products. And so we definitely show that in our facility. And we're proud of that, because that's how we can continue to improve our products. And the higher level of testing also helps us to help our customers to have a better product and to be able to depend on what we deliver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that, would you say that is the differentiator in the industry, is that quality control testing is a higher priority at Lion? Or are there other, what would you consider the differentiating factors?
So in the beginning, that was that was the most important. I would say now it's evolved to technology and staying ahead of, like, we just integrated with a smart home thermostat to be able to, in your home, one of the biggest draw of energy is your HVAC. And so if the power goes out, we can now, with our system, tell the thermostat, hey, we don't need to be 70 degrees. We can be 82 or whatever, something comfortable, but isn't using as much energy. So being able to integrate with that is super important to manage your energy use. Or you decide, I'm in Texas during the day when it's way more expensive, I'd rather have it be a little bit warmer or whatever. So some of those decisions we can make and program in and be able to, so technology and continuous improvement. And I want our customers to continue to have the best. And with energy storage, the great thing about it is once you put batteries in your home, you continue to be able to use those batteries over the life of the product. And with technology, we can continue to improve that technology and still deliver great savings to our customers. And so technology now is one of the areas that we are most focused on.
Gotcha. Yeah. Are you still developing products? Are you still working on new things? Or always working on new things?
Now, it seems like every year there's a higher level of focus. Today we are improving the manufacturability of our products to be able to deliver the best quality products at the best price. Price is super important to focus on. And so the CPA part of me is super important to keep costs down because, you know, if it's an expensive product, it's never going to work, you know, for our customers. So we, you know, being able to improve efficiencies of manufacturing and things like that is important. And then, you know, making sure the product fits. And it seems like that's always a moving target, being able to understand what is the best for that. So whether it's lighter weight or whatever. So we're continuing to improve, innovate. But a lot of that comes back down to technology and just being able to seamlessly integrate the energy into your everyday life and, you know, for our customers.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Going back to the bootstrap story, I listened to something and it sounded like you had really good growth. You were doubling for a certain period of time. You got up to around 70 million in revenue. Is that correct? And plateaued a little bit. Did you stay there for a significant period of time?
Yeah. 3 years.
3 years at that kind of level.
Yeah.
And then jumped to 100 million.
Yep.
Have you been able to determine how that occurred? What happened? What changed in the market? Or what did you do internally to make that jump? I'm sure a lot of companies who are listening to this are finding themselves in that position. They want the secret.
Yeah. There is no secret. It's, you know, we had grown very quickly to that level. And then there's a period of time that you have to, I mean, when you hire a lot of people really quick, you also have to integrate those into your company. And, you know, that it's never going to be smooth, and trying to figure out the best person for the best jobs takes time. And so building that infrastructure and being able to know who you are as a company. For us, there wasn't really a roadmap. We are very unique in what we do. And so it's not like we could look at another company and say, this is the right way to do it. But even then, it's still, you know, learning every day and making decisions that improve what you're doing. There's always competition out there, figuring out the best way. So our continuous growth has been focused on newer products, offerings, and expanding our market. And I expect to continue to be able to grow as we get into some of these bigger products. But even our portables, I think, are continuing to improve and getting better and better. And we're getting more understanding from the market, the consumer, of how to integrate it into your life, how important energy is. And so more and more people are really starting to understand that.
So is that the data you use to continue to improve and develop? Are you looking at what the market is telling you? Are you out doing research, or is it more internal? Like, we can make our batteries smaller but more efficient, and improving apps. And how do you determine the best way forward?
Yeah, it's focusing on the customer. Some of our, we do a lot of shows and things like that, and just really talking, you know, face to face with people. And our customer service is one of the best in the industry also. So being able to take calls, understand our customer, integrate that into the product development, and then continue to expand. Think about new systems to put into place to be able to sell the product better, fit it into the right, whether it's retailer. We're competing every day against Chinese companies, which another challenge, but we have to know who we are and be able to continue to improve our products and listen to our customer. We offer things, whether it's warranty, everyday service, things like that nobody else competes with. So over time, it's really a slow build process as more and more people trust who we are and what we do. That's how we grow. And, word of mouth and things like that, that's all part of the marketing. So, I'm sure you would love to hear the gotcha. This is the thing that's right.
No, I mean, that would be great, I guess, if you had a gotcha, but there's also something to be said for just hitting singles.
Yeah.
And, keep moving people around the plate. It's a great story. Has the company mission or the values of the company changed or evolved over time?
They've been refined, I would say. We continue to add, more and more, whether it's, like I said earlier, it's technology, continuing to improve that. So understanding what the right development, and some of that comes with the people that join the organization. It's definitely not my organization, even though I was a founder. It's all the people that are a part of it, and being able to take that feedback and integrate it the right way in a healthy way is super important for growth and understanding of where to go. And like you said, it's a bunch of singles every day and improving, processes here and there, across the company that helps us to be more successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you kind of have it made. Like you've just built up this amazing company.
Easy. Yeah.
You make it look so simple.
Yeah, it's so easy.
I was going to ask you 3 random questions, but I'm running out of time. And I figured that the story about your grandparents was insightful enough. So, but let's just finish with this. Like, okay, so we've talked all about your company and where can people, by the way, where can people find you? And if they have interest in, purchasing products, finding products, where's the best way to go about that? So
lionenergy.com, LIONENERGY. And we have a great chat feature, and that's a real person on the other side. So, do
you ever jump in on that? Are you the person on the other side?
I have been, but we do have a lot of good people that can better answer questions than I can in many ways. So, but yeah, the website, definitely come in, we here in American Fork, Utah.
Oh, great. I'll
take walk-ins.
Yeah. I'm going to come and check it out.
Show you what we do in person. That's how you.
Okay. Well, what do you like? How do you stay on top of everything? What is your way to keep yourself charged? I guess. Are you constantly educating yourself? Do you read? Do you go on long hikes? I mean, what's your sanctuary away from the business on a daily basis?
All of the above. I exercise every morning. So I'll listen to podcasts, read books, listen to books on tape, and continuous improvement, continuous learning is definitely a real good thing. I like variety. I like, there's not a specific genre or anything like that. I like variety. I feel like variety brings innovation, improvement, thinking outside the box, is super important, I think.
Outside of the Know Your Ship podcast, what is something you're listening to currently that you think people might find meaningful?
What am I listening to? J.D. Vance's story is interesting. I don't know if you've...
The Hillbilly Elegy story?
Yeah, Hillbilly Elegy.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I love that. I love the raw nature of it, and just, the continuing to move forward and not letting an excuse. There are no excuses in life. It's just learning from what you're doing.
Well,
so I love that.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously J.D. Vance can be a polarizing figure, but no matter your affiliation politically or otherwise, living under the circumstances that he did and finding his way to the position he is today, it's inspirational. It's a great story. Lots of many lessons in that. I'm listening to a book on George Washington right now. And it's like, it's unbelievable. The experiences, the insight, and all of the things that colonial people were dealing with that we're like still dealing with today. It's like they have the same issues. They just sounded better when they spoke about it.
Yeah. And I mean, you have to remember, and these are people that have achieved huge success in life. So not everybody has to do that, but understanding the process and understanding, the moving forward every day, making those gradual improvements is what is most important about those. I'm never going to be vice president of the United States, or president. So
maybe, you never know. Have you ever thought about doing a series of books, kind of a takeoff on the Hortin, here's a who, like Hortin buys a renewable energy system for his home. Nothing like that. I mean,
no, I like to read them, and that's not me.
I know a guy who's a ghostwriter if you're ever interested. Yeah. Tyler Hortin, it's been a pleasure.
Oh, thanks.
And so insightful. Thank you so much. I feel like now I'm in. So who knows? Maybe one day soon I'll have the whole system at my house running everything.
Yeah, come over. I'm
going to.
Yeah, you should definitely learn more about it.
Awesome. Sure. Well, come back and see us. We'd love to get an update sometime about what you guys are doing.
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you for listening to the Know Your Ship podcast presented by eHub. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review.